Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. Ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba ba. Bye up, bye up. You guys already know, man. Hey, I get into that song, right? Look, if you haven't hit your like and subscribe button, make sure that you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on. Wait up. All so that we are directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. I appreciate all the support. I'm very humbled by it. So, what is today? You heard it? I heard it too. It's Fuck Jake and Rebecca Fridays, right? Hey, we're not going to stop. It's justice for baby Manuel. He still hasn't been found, but I still found it in my heart to create some content because guess what? We're not going to stop till Mijo's voice is heard. Regardless of what anyone is doing, what anyone is saying, I am not content with Jake pleading guilty and just letting it go away. We're not done. We still got a lot more business to handle. And guess what, Mrs. fucking Willie Lump Butt? We got a whole lot to handle. So I did a video a while back addressing a rumor. A rumor, right? Look at all these rumors surrounding Chueca every day. And Richueca was the center of the rumor because in the meantime, in between time, there was a lot of people with a lot to say about her. And one of the things was that she was pregnant, that she was expecting, that she could quite possibly be sitting her ass in county jail, eating the bananas the long way, right? And expecting Jake Haro's child. And I thought, and other people thought, that could be the reason why she was sticking to the muzzle so hard, why her teeth were locked, why she wasn't saying anything. But really, what it all comes down to is she just wasn't saying shit because she's all sprung on a straight up predator. She's all sprung on a child abuser. And that's just what it is. That's the truth. She is a woman confused, beaten, battered, and stupid all at the same time. And you can put it in whatever order you want. And I use the word stupid loosely when I'm talking about Richueca Haro. So I had to double back and do some more proper investigation and find out, is this chick really pregnant? Is there some actual evidence to prove one way or the other that this chick is expecting and that she's going to give birth to another child? Is Jake going to be allowed to bring another child into this world? We already know what happens to kids that are born out of the loins of Jake Haro, right? They get beat, they get battered, they get hurt, they get murdered, right? And so the last thing on earth that any of us that support, baby Manuel and Promise and their other child is we want to see these fucking two idiots bring another baby into this world, that a baby born straight into suffering, straight into captivity, a baby born in the jail, right? Now, of course, if this baby was born, then either one of the family members, and we know the family members ain't shit on either side, right, would have to come and take this baby, this child, and take full custody of this baby because we already know that Rebecca's probably going to get stretched out, which she deserves it. She definitely deserves to get stretched out. We already know Jake is going to be nowhere in this child's future if that was the case because Jake, first of all, shouldn't be around children, period. First, Jake shouldn't be around, period. But that's another story for another day. That's more content to create. So I did some investigating, some calling around, and I actually got back at the chick who let me know in the first place what was going on. And I said, what made you think that she was pregnant? She said, well, she was a little lumpy in the stomach. I said, well, that bitch is fat anyway. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, I know she has lumpy lump butt, but she also has lumpy front, right? So what was it that made you think, was she on some type of medication, some prenatal pills? Did she voice that she was impregnated? Like, what is, how do you know? Now, I know due to HIPAA laws, man, we would never find out from the medical field, right? It just doesn't work that way. They wouldn't tell us, but people are doing time with Rebecca. They might not be right there 5 feet away from her, but they'll see her moving. And you could tell when a woman's pregnant, she starts showing. Look, there are instances where women are all drugged out and you don't know they're fucking pregnant till they drop the baby, right? But for the most part, Rebecca looks a little bit more healthier than others, right? She was definitely getting her stamps, She definitely was often Takis and them Zuzus and Wham Whams, right? Little Debbie, her and Little Debbie were personal friends. You could tell by the pooch in her fucking in her frontal lobe. But she was like, to be honest with you, I don't know. That was just a rumor going around. So I talked to someone else, someone else who was actually there, present, when Rebecca got jumped on. And I said, okay, so let me figure this out. So she gets jumped on in the pill line. She goes, that's a fact. I was right there. I seen it. I said, no, I've heard that. I've heard the different various stories, and they're all pretty much the same. She did get bombed on at pill call, right? Gracias. We appreciate that. In the name of baby Emmanuel. Thank you. But if these people assaulted a pregnant woman, verified that she's pregnant, right? Wouldn't they be in some serious trouble? She goes, yeah, it's just, hey, they beat her up and that was that. They took her right back to the cell. No harm, no foul. No flags on the play. That led me to believe she's not pregnant. So for the rumors going around out there that Rebecca Haro is pregnant, I'm here to tell you she is not. Okay? Why? Because I wasn't convinced with just talking to that person. So I reached out to one of Jake Haro's family members. Okay? And this individual told me, hell no, Rebecca's not pregnant. That was just a rumor going around. Like the type of people that would start these rumors that would want to see another baby being born to these fucking animals, these monsters, is crazy. Now, when I did my video, it was a question, not a definitive answer. I wanted to know, do you believe she's pregnant? This is what people are saying. These are the rumors that are going around. But I'm here to debunk that, to myth bust it, right? Since I'm a myth buster, I'll say this. She is not pregnant in any form or fashion, and that's a great thing. That's a good thing because, look, you know she's going through mental stress. Of course she's stressed out, not because baby Manuel is gone and deceased, but she is stressed out because of the predicament and the situation she's now facing. She is now going to go to trial, pre-trial at least, she'll get to that point, for the murder of her child, right? I was about to say unborn child, but there is no unborn child because they're all born. That bitch has no unborn. She doesn't even deserve a born. And that causes mental stress for anybody. And with that mental stress, that could make for a bad pregnancy, right? Not that we want her to be all comfortable and here, let me fluff your fucking pillows, fat ass. Like none of that. But at the same time, we do need to understand that, hey, when there's a baby involved, no matter who the parents are, man, it's still a baby. And a baby needs to be born into this world with love, right? Now, I'm a believer in my higher power. And I do question sometimes why things like this happen to children. Like I'll always question why baby Emmanuel had to go through the suffering that he went through with these two diabolical fucking individuals. I'll always wonder why Promise is in the situation she's in. What type of life is she leading? But hey, any life is better than no life. Period. God does what he does for a reason. And it's not even God. Them two motherfuckers are the devil. That's just the truth. So when I heard that Rebecca was pregnant and bringing another child into this world, I was questioning that. I was very upset because she doesn't deserve it, because there's so many people out there that struggle every day, that can't have children, that want to have children, want to love on a child, just want to be the best parent they could quite possibly be and want to just help. And they're not blessed that way, but you have two fat, fucking stupid, idiotic monsters, demonic people that keep bringing child after child. And not only are they weighing heavy on our system, but they don't even know how to be parents and they don't even want to be. They just want to utilize the system for what they can and then discard the child like they're trash. And in Jake's fucking case, he did just that. Now, here's a question I have for you. Since we already debunked the fact that she's not pregnant, I'm telling you, I truly believe she isn't, because if them chicks that jumped on her did and she was pregnant, they would have got some charges. Okay, there would have been some attempted murder charges going on there. Straight up. You can't just jump a pregnant woman and get away with it. They don't just give you a write-up. Now, that doesn't mean that Rebecca's getting all the love in there, pregnant or not, right? Because cops feel some type of way. They're human just like we are. They know why she's in there. They know her story. And believe me, if they're obligated, it's their job to protect everyone in there. But there just happens to be keys turned on accident. There just happens to be keys turned on accident. It just happens, right? Seen it in real life, man. Let me tell you a little story. So I was in a program which was similar to the shoe in a different state, locked up. And there was people that used to bump baking soda breath on the door, meaning there was a lot of people that were wolf cases. See, I came from California, and in California, man, we were laced to not wolf on the tira. On the tira has entered the chat. Right? We were laced not to talk on that tier and disrespect other people. If you had something to do with that person, if you had some animosity or something to get off your chest, you got off when you were mad at, when you were able to come into contact with that person. But if them doors cracked, then heads cracked. But there was never no bumpy baking soda breath. When you would hear that, like in Ad Seg, it was always like, damn, man, this fool that's woofing, his own people are going to deal with them swiftly, too. Swiftly blue. Believe me. So you didn't really see that. It wasn't laced that way. Now, there were situations in the youth authority where, of course, people bumped their fucking neck, but it wasn't like that in prison. So being in a different state, things were a little bit different. Motherfuckers were allowed to say whatever they wanted to say on the tier and disrespect each other, whatever. And there was this young northerner. His name was Lobo. I'll never forget. He was a little homie from Sacramento, right? Actually, no, excuse me. He was from Ukiah. And he was a little native, half white, half native northerner. And we were cool, but we were never that cool. Like I met him right there in the program. I met him right there locked up. And we had never really had interaction besides talking on the chair a little bit, shooting some wheelas and shooting some softballs to each other, whatever. I blessed him. He blessed me. But I knew he was with the program in the business because he was in the oil. He was in that. It was kind of like a shoe program. He was in that program for getting off, right? And so what happened with him was he liked to woof a lot. He liked to woof, man. And the cops would always come to his cell and they tell him, hey, enough is enough. And I would shoot wheelers down to him like, hey, bro, that's not how a northerner conducts himself. And he was like, well, that's how this northerner conducts himself. And I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I could do. I started disliking him. So I like just shined him on, like whatever. So what happened was there was a South Sider that came on the tier. And they would get into it every day. And the Southerners would tell their people the same thing, like, hey, bro, you know, that ain't cool to conduct yourself like that. And but these two youngsters, you couldn't really tell them shit. They're wild. They're Edgared out, right? They're just wild. Whatever, man. I got at this Southerner man who was kind of like not the shot caller, but he had some juice. And I was like, hey, bro, this Spencer, I've talked to my peoples, but fuck, what can I do? He was like, saying, likewise, bro. You know, so we keep it respectful. We keep it respectful. And there was all kinds of busters and scraps and all these guys going back and forth, disrespecting each other. It was stupid. It was gang banging, and dudes knew they couldn't get to each other until the day that they could. There was a school program where you would go out and they would teach you. And I guess this dude signed up for it. They both did, thinking that they would catch each other slipping. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Lobo caught him first and stabbed him with a pencil in the school area, right? I remember alarms going off. Everybody was tripping because you never really got to anyone there. Lobo got to him. Lobo comes back to the oil, bam, he gets charged with a DA referral, whatever, right? The other dude, they move him to a different pod. And Lobo's talking that high power shit. Yeah, I booked him. Ooh, he's talking that shit. And motherfucker's like, ooh, he got off. And he keeps on, and more Southerners coming, and he's just in it, and just in it. And I'm like, fuck, right? What happens is the cops got tired of it one day. So conveniently, they popped his door, and they popped all the Southerners' door on accident. And let me tell you right there, man, I literally sat there and myself, nothing I could do about it. I watched hands and feet and hands get put on this guy. So people are only human. I say that story to say this. You know, hey, shit, accidents happen. So with Rebecca, it's not unusual for an accident to happen for her door to pop if she's being segregated, right? I don't know if she's being segregated. Last I heard she wasn't, but I don't know. But I just wanted to say she is not pregnant. I got down to the bottom of that. I realized that that video that I did put out saying perhaps she may be, those were just rumors other people were putting out, man. And I want to double down and say that she is not. I can confirm that, and that's a fact. And thank God, because the last thing people wanted was to see her pregnant. Now, the mental stress would affect the baby if she was, man, and the baby could not come out quite right. And so I'm glad that that's not the case, right, at all. Now, what's going to happen next with Rebecca on Fuck Jake and Rebecca Fridays? Well, what's going to happen now is that bitch got to go to court. She's got to go to court, and she's got to realize that by her sticking to her muzzle and not saying nothing, it's going to greatly impact and affect her time. Okay, there's a lot of people running around talking about Rebecca might get out, and they're quite right. There's a possibility that, hey, anything is possible in this world. Do I believe she will? Fuck no, right? We know Jake ain't. That's a fact, right? You know, there's a lot of people asking questions where Jake is going to go from here. You know, Rebecca's going to go to trial, or she's either going to take a deal on this prelim. I believe she's going to take a deal. I don't believe the bitch is stupid enough to go all the way. If she does, she's going to get sat down forever. She'll probably get more time than Jake if she does, because there's going to be a lot put out there. All the details that are in that discovery and all the evidence that the fucking detectives have, it's all going to be put on her plate, and she's got to eat shit and like it, right? Or dislike it. It's up to her. Let me tell you what's going to happen with Jake the Snakey, the Earthquakey, the fucking shaky babies, right? Weirdo. He's going to go to his sentencing, and he's going to be sentenced to probably 25 to life. I believe it's going to be about 25 years to life. The elbow is the elbow. He'll never get out. From there, within a week of being sentenced, I believe he will be shipped to either Chino prison for reception or Wasco, depending upon where they send you. I've heard both, but I did hear from someone from that area that they send you to Wasco State Prison, which is a reception. Same reception that actually Cain Velasquez went to, Wasco. He'll go there. Now, Cain Velasquez was fast-tracked. He didn't stay in Wasco very long, man. He was shipped to Soledad, to Chole, level 2 yard, integrated yard, pretty fast, right? Because Jake will have a high number of points because it's a murder case and because he has priors and all that, they're going to sit him down for a while. I could see him sitting in Wasco for anywhere from 1 month to 9 months. Okay, just dwelling in the lab, marinating. From there, they will be shipping him to more than likely a level 4 yard SNY. Why do I say that? Because of the factors of his case. Now, there's people that believe you have to request SNY. And in fact, you do. You have to let them know that's where you're willing to go. They'll suggest it in the ICC, which is a committee meeting. If you can't, like, go back to the yard, if you got removed, if things like that happen, they'll suggest it, and it's up to you. You could deny it, sign off on the chrono, or go. It's totally up to you, right? There are some cases where you have no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You don't get to decide. And one of those is when you have a weird case. See, automatically, they're not going to put Jake, I wish they would, but they're not going to put Jake Haro on general population yards. The reason they're not going to do that is because of his case factors. Like I said, because he's in there for killing a baby, and that's a threat to the safety and security of the institution. They're not going to put a dude that they know is going to get whacked in a place that he's going to get whacked. Now, accidents can happen. He could slip, he could trip, slip, fall, land on someone's dick. I don't know. But he's more than likely going to see the counselor in Wasco. They're going to let him know they're going to be placing him in a sensitive needs yard, and he will be shipped not to a soft yard. See, people expect, oh, he's going sensitive need, he'll be all right. It's going to be soft. I don't know who the fuck told you that, right? Look, it's not King Nico going to fire camp. We're talking about this is a baby killer, man, that's going to go on a yard with a lot of fathers. It doesn't matter if they're active gang members or non-active gang members or they didn't told on someone. Hey, one thing they did not do or they do not condone is killing children. So he's going to have it bad. You got it bad when you pull up and your name is Jake Haro. Oh, he's got it bad like an Usher song. He's going to have it bad. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you they're going to get off on him right when he gets off the bus. Probably not, but he will be extorted and reported. And there's going to be a lot of things going on with him that he's going to have to live through for the rest of his life. Every day he will be looking over his shoulder, just like others that are in the same position will. Gracias. Baby Manuel. Justice. As far as Rebecca goes, her non-pregnant ass is going to probably go get a deal at the prelim, at the pretrial, and that will be what it is, man. And I could see them quite possibly dropping the charges to accessory to murder and her maybe getting 10 to 15. That's just what I'm thinking, okay? I hope not. I hope she pays the piper, Rowdy Roddy style. But if she doesn't, then it just is what it is. The whole thing is these two idiots are off the streets. They're away from children. And no, Rebecca does not have a baby in her stomach. And God forbid she will ever have a baby. Who would fuck that? I'd fuck her. Would you fuck her? I'd fuck her. No, I wouldn't. Buffalo Bill. You know what I'm saying? Her, she could place the lotion in the basket and leave that fucking shit there. I'm just saying, this is Fuck Jake and Rebecca Fridays, man, and we're getting into it. A little bit of everything for anything. I'll say this, man. It's justice for baby mama. We're almost there, mijo. We might not be able to find them, but we're going to find these motherfuckers guilty. And that's just it, man. Justice for Emmanuel, justice for promise. And thank you again, man, to everyone who's been putting in the work. You know, I got a mysterious message the other day. Somebody said, and it was a female. I'm not going to say her name, but she said, we are out here looking for baby Emmanuel. And we have uncovered something that's going to change everything. Now, this was a few days ago. Tried to tap in. She didn't respond. She did one time, right? And I said, what is it? You'll see it. It's going to be a big deal. Okay, well, it's been a week now. And I haven't seen no big deal yet, man. I was kind of hoping. I already had my thumbnail ready. I was ready to go hot, right? I was kind of hoping that maybe they found the remains of baby Emmanuel. But then at the same time, I was like, man, I hope they did not touch anything. Not that it would change the case with Jake. He already admitted guilt, so he's done. But it could definitely change what's going on with Rebecca. They never reached out to me, so I'm not going to sit here and say that's what it was because they didn't say that. But they just said they found something big that was going to change everything. So I kind of jumped the gun and thought maybe that could be it. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, enjoy your day. Thank God it's Friday. Tap into the live tonight. If you're not a member, man, join my membership. I highly appreciate it. And let's get it, man. The gun. This is Fuck, Jake, and Rebecca Fridays. Every Friday, brought to you by Vario Liquors, man, in Turlock, California. If you ever want to tap in and get some good ones, some cold ones, some icy ones, go to the Vario in Turlock. Bang, bang.